Being ugly is a choice, plain and simple. Being ugly is a choice, plain and simple. I'm sorry, in this day and age, there's way too many resources out here for anyone to walk around and be like, I don't have pretty privilege, and that sucks. At that point, you're just wanting attention for something, and that's sad. Beauty matters in this world, and the fact that there's even content about this, or there has to be content saying like pretty privilege is a thing, it's like, where were you? Were you living under a rock all this time? I feel like this goes back to the playground. We know this. Pretty girls get preferential treatment. There's a pretty popular girl in school, the hot cheerleader. Everyone wants to be her. Every guy wants to fuck her. We know this. And the sooner you can realize that aesthetics do matter, and a lot of things do boil down to aesthetics. People will sit here. It's not about looks. It's not about this. It's not about that. As women, we are so much more than our looks. We are our creativity, our intelligence, more. No one is gonna get to your creativity, your heart, and your intelligence if they don't like what they're looking at. You know, when you're walking outside, you're not picking up the weeds, you're picking up the flowers. This is the world we live in. It's appearance biased. I truly believe that anyone can be beautiful. You might not be my idea of beauty, or your idea of beauty, or your neighbor's idea of beauty, but you can still be beautiful. Beauty is subjective, and there are industries dedicated to looking good. So if you're gonna sit here and say you don't have pretty privilege, that's your fault. If you walk around self-identifying yourself as ugly, that's where you gotta stop. That's where you went wrong. Confidence is such a big factor in things. You can be looking like a supermodel, but if you're out here talking about your fat and your insecurities, girl, that is ugly as hell. No one wants to hear that. Women across all walks of life play the game. Women are survivalists. Women adapt to beauty standards to survive off of men over time. It's why in 2016 we all had like a fat, juicy ass, and why in the 2000s we were all, trying to be stick thin. Beauty standards are here, and they're never going away. I'm not telling you to conform, even though there's benefits to conforming and looking like a carbon copy of someone else. There are benefits to that. I'm just telling you to play the game. We all play the game. Like, look at Rihanna in the beginning of her career. She was stick thin, punky, funky, edgy. Look at these women all at the start of their career, these successful music artists at the start of their career. They're all stick thin. They're all conforming to the beauty standards at the time to be more palatable and relatable to the masses. Now Rihanna, she's like thick and lovely. She has her billions. I'm sure Rihanna has no interest in being skinny anymore. She is still very beautiful, obviously, but she played the game. And I feel like any woman who is super successful, they can never sit here and come for me because they played the game to some certain extent. Should we have to play this game? No, we shouldn't. We should be accepted for who we are. We should be worthy of love and preferential treatment for looking how we came out of the womb. That would be ideal, but this is planet Earth. This is planet Earth, and you've got a choice if you want to be walking around ugly for the rest of your time here, or you want to do something about that. And there are benefits to doing something about that. If someone is spending hours making themselves into a visually appealing, aesthetically pleasing version of themselves, of course they deserve more than you who's not doing that. Is it right? Maybe not, but of course they deserve more. There's more effort, more time, more passion. We're all actresses, we're all actors going through life. We put different hats on for different things. Like, it's called compartmentalizing. This is nothing new, and if you play the game, you will get more out of life. And another thing, don't be afraid to stand out. Most people are mediocre. By standing out, you're gonna instantly become the hottest and most magnetic version of yourself, because we live in a world where people are repressed. So anything that's different is commodity and also very magnetic. What I find is, like, a lot of people try to make you feel bad. You should never feel bad for embracing your personal style. You embracing your personal style is going to be a sign of strength, courage, and vitality. These are things that people lack in their own lives. That's how you're going to stand out in a city of tens. This is what Christine Quinn says, and she was damn right. A lot of y'all will sit here and be like, what's wrong with being mediocre? What's wrong with being that? Girl, a lot is wrong with that. Why would you want to be mediocre? Why wouldn't you want to strive to be the best version of you? You are alive. You chose to have this human body and experience, and you're just gonna just coast on by and be mediocre? Okay, if you're an NPC, if that's the vibe you want to go for. But I feel like if you're watching this video, like, you're not that, you're overly ambitious and you're a perfectionist and all these things. Pretty privilege is a choice. We learn it from the playground. We see how beautiful people get treated. We see how fat people get treated, especially if we were fat before. So knowing all these things, it's really up to you. It's like the moth to a flame theory, you know, you're just gonna be more magnetic because you don't look like the rest. The masses aren't artists, the masses aren't talented, they don't have creative skills or abilities like you do, so they're gonna make you feel bad for knowing how to do your makeup. People like to go really plain to be appealing to the masses. That is a power move in itself, being more of a carbon copy type of person so that you can reach more people. But that's not really cute. You know, why not stand out and be your own individualistic person so you can attract the people that are meant for you, versus like going the plain carbon copy route, and then when a little bit of like creativity or individualism shows, all of a sudden it's a problem. I could be a natural soft glam girly. I could do it all, but why be natural when you can be supernatural? Why are we here striving to be medium ugly? This is y'all's problem. Y'all are way too concerned with what Sally Joe and Sue are thinking of you. Sally Joe and Sue, they're not living your life. This is your reality, and therefore you should be capitalizing and maximizing off your experience here on Earth. A lot of people aren't ugly, they just don't take care of themselves. Anyone can go up the scale a couple points simply by clothing, scent, spiritual oils. Anyone can go a couple notches up the scale of attractiveness if they take care of themselves, if they make themselves presentable. The problem is, y'all roll out of bed. Not all of us are the most beautiful rolling out of bed, but you put no effort into how you look, how you carry yourself, and then you got that shitty confidence too on top of it. You're self-deprecating. You know, all of that together, that makes ugly. You can actually be aesthetically not conventionally beautiful and still have pretty privilege. There are girls out here looking like booger wolves. There are boys out here looking like booger wolves, and they're still getting forward in life. I feel like choosing to be ugly goes with the whole victim mentality thing as well. Maybe there's a certain accolade you get from that. No, and there is. This video had like for like 1 million views, like I'm ugly. And I mean, I clicked it because that's not really something you see every day. It's kind of like the whole woe is me kind of thing. If I get on here and I say like I'm pretty and these people are hating, I'm pretty, they're always coming for my neck, no one cares. It just all boils down to laziness. If you're ugly, you're lazy. We live in a world where you can have your dream body. If you don't like something, you can fix it and you can change it. I don't care if you don't have the resources, so you can manifest it. You gotta have the vision there for the resources to come. That's how manifestations work. You gotta be happy before the things that make you happy show up in your reality. So knowing all of this and having so much data out here and resources, plastic surgeries, makeup, and you still choosing to be ugly, that's a you problem. That's a you problem. That's why I have no sympathy for people who are ugly. The thing is, you never really have problems with the attractive people. You have problems with the attractive people who don't think they're attractive. That's the difference. I've been met with nothing but niceness from other attractive women. If anything, we're complimenting each other. We're just like, damn girl, you did it today. If you don't do the inner work, you might constantly be striving to fix things and improve things, which there's nothing wrong with that. You know, if you've got a vision, make that shit come to life. Don't listen to these losers who are like, girl, just love yourself, love yourself. If doing X, Y, and Z is going to aid in you loving yourself, then that's what you need to do, because this is your personal journey. Don't listen to these losers who lack ambition, because you know what it really is? What it really is you doing more makes them feel like they're doing less. And you doing more, it makes them feel like they need to be doing more. So I'm gonna make you feel bad about trying to get your pretty privilege, because I don't wanna be doing all that. That's the real tea. People would rather be a hater. People would rather hate on people than get inspired. They never look at you and be like, oh, she's doing that. Oh, she achieved that. Well, just because she did that, maybe I could do that too. You know, she's helping me to believe in myself. Most people do not think like this. They're very juvenile in their thinking. They're like, fuck this bitch. People rather be a hater than change their life. That's what that is. You've got to have the looks to sell your bullshit. No matter what walk of life you're in, aesthetics play a huge role. Everything boils down to how you look. Don't let them fool you. Don't let them try to lie to you. Obviously, there's more that matters. You know that you hold a lot more value. Girl, we know. It's no secret that systemically beautiful people have better lives. It's no secret that if you're ugly, it's gonna be a harder time. Women basically have access to different types of treatments, different types of lifestyles based on how they look. When I lived on Wall Street, this cashier, I saw him walking down Wall Street one day and he was in a suit, great glasses, very well groomed, well tailored. I almost didn't recognize him for a second. Being the kind of girl that I am, being attracted to like men in suits and all that, you know, I straightened my back. Like I responded to him different, and then I realized it was him. Now here's the thing, if I didn't know he was a cashier on Wall Street working at Duane Reade, I would have mistaken him for, you know, someone who works at the stock exchange. And therefore I was prepared and willing to treat him a little bit better. I'm just gonna be real. I would have been friendlier, nicer, just because he was well groomed and well tailored, and I'm attracted to that. He had the looks to sell his bullshit. Most people are full of bullshit. Full of bullshit. And they just have the looks to sell it. No one is really fact checking nowadays. These are how con men get away with things, because they have the looks to sell their bullshit. When you want to start making more money, you start wearing suits to be perceived as successful. It's not the actual suit, it's just the subconscious idea that's implanted into most people's mind about people who wear suits. I would look at putting yourself together as an aesthetic choice for what you want to attract for the day. If you have the looks to sell your bullshit, you'll be more successful in life. You need to be working on your body. Your body is your canvas. Your body is your material for manipulation in the world. You've got to develop a great sense of introspection if you want to be physically attractive. A lot of people can't do that because they're afraid to be perceived. A lot of people can't pick up a camera and talk to it because they feel like that feels weird. Or they'll see a million things that they don't like about themselves, and then it goes into this like whole like, oh, I'm so fat, I hate myself, I can't do this, I can't do this. You don't pick the camera up and you start berating yourself. There might be a couple things you don't like, but you've got to be objective with yourself and be like, you know, oh, she's a cute girl, how can we improve this? If you can't get past the point of being able to perceive yourself, how the hell are you gonna look good? If you can't look at the picture on the phone that you just took of yourself, how the hell are you gonna look good? Filming yourself, being on camera, this is a great way to really know your body and your angles. Your friends are never gonna tell you that you need to get your teeth fixed. Your friends are never gonna tell you that you're overweight. And it's because some of us have shady friends, but also your friends typically see you as perfect. Otherwise, they wouldn't be friends with you. They see the best in you when we don't see the best in ourselves. And that's why it's so important to be objective. If you're thinking about getting the nose job, it's because you need the nose job. Like, let's be real. If you're thinking about losing the weight, it's because you need to lose the weight. Let's be real. This is how you're gonna stay looking good for the end of times, by being objective with yourself, consistently evolving, trying new things with your makeup. You need to be creating every day. You need to be expanding. This is literally how you never get old. To the bitches who about to be like, your looks fade, beauty fades. What are you gonna have when you're 70? I'm gonna have these gorgeous looks. Because I constantly evolve as a human being. If you're not striving for perfection, you might as well be dead. There is something wrong with being mediocre. I know most of the internet, most of the world is mediocre, but that's a choice. You don't have to be. Sometimes you gotta break bones if you wanna be beautiful. Sometimes you gotta spend the money if you wanna look expensive. And it's worth it because there's a certain privilege that comes from looking like you've been perfected. There are levels to pretty privilege. You've got the girl next door, she's sweet, she's cute, and then you've got the rich and wealthy pretty privilege, Paris Hilton vibes. And the thing is, when you get to a certain level of beauty or perfection, a byproduct of success is hate. Most successful people have got a bandwagon of haters on them. Bitch, these haters are in these comments right now. People don't like the fact that people can profit off of beauty. They think that being pretty, beauty is something that's God-given. They feel like it's out of reach, you know, only God blesses a couple of people with looks and stuff like that. So people don't like the idea that people can profit off of beauty. Think about the little girl at the orphanage who gets picked up quickly because she can do modeling for kids commercials. People hate that because they feel like they can't compete, but that's where they go wrong. You can compete. Being ugly is a choice. What are y'all doing? This is why I have no sympathy for people who complain about their looks. You never really have a problem with the pretty girls. It's always the dog face bitches. It's just is what it is. It's crazy to say because I know the entertainment industry has painted the pretty girl as the bitch. We see this time and time again in movies. The pretty attractive girl, she's the mistress. And then the average looking bitches, she's the wife. We see this depicted in media all the time. But in reality, ugly people are meaner. They just are. Systemically, your life is gonna be harder if you're unattractive, and like that is just the real tea. The world is superficial and shallow, and the quicker you realize that, the sooner you can win. Don't listen to these social justice warriors who are out here looking ugly and getting treated ugly. And another thing, the real scam is you believing it. I coined that phrase, the real scam is you believing it. You can apply this to anything in life, but what I find is there's a lot of projecting that goes on with human beings. If you have been told that because you're fat, you're ugly, if you've been told that because you're dark skinned, you're not attractive, if you sit here and believe that, you've been scammed in more ways than one. Just remember, anytime you feel like you're being oppressed or you feel like things aren't going your way or someone's trying to make you feel bad about yourself, the real scam is you believing it. You can take it as fiction. Don't get scammed into believing that you're not worthy, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough. This is what they want. People deliberately try to piss you off to get that dopamine hit from seeing your negative reaction. You gotta be that unbothered girl. You can't be believing everything they're saying. If you do have a really big emotional reaction to something someone is saying, you gotta really like dive deep and be like, why did that trigger me? Work on your triggers. Find out what triggers you so when they bring it up, you don't bat an eye. Don't give them what they want. Just because they're feeling shitty about their lives and you're doing a little better than them or a lot better than them, don't let them try to scam you into that low, nasty, negative vibration. That's the thing when you become really beautiful, when you're just really successful as a person. That's what they don't tell you when you're successful and beautiful. You get a lot of people hating for no reason. And if you sat here and you were like, it's because she's ugly. It's because he don't look like me. It's because he doesn't have my accolades. All of a sudden, it's a problem. All of a sudden, it's not, oh, you guys suffer from the halo effect. You suffer from this, you suffer from that. Well, what is it? What exactly is it? If you don't know a person, you don't have any personal ties with them, but you're sitting here hating for no reason, what does it boil down to? The surface level things, how you look, how you speak. They just don't want to admit it because they don't want to seem superficial as they are. You really become the story that you tell yourself. We have a choice in everything. I know it feels like we don't have a choice with certain things, but we have a choice with everything. Just because you were born this way, because you were born orange or yellow, because someone said orange and yellow is not beautiful, it doesn't mean that you're not beautiful. You only become not beautiful when you start telling yourself that you're not beautiful. Don't let these people scam you into thinking that you're not beautiful. And if you personally just feel like you're not beautiful, work on it. That is a problem. You should be loving yourself. You should be feeling good about yourself. This is what you're here to work on if you don't. This is why you incarnated in this body. Let's get it going, girl. Let's get it cracking. Let's get it going. Always remember, the real scam is you believing it. If anyone tries to come for you, the real scam is you believing it. They try to scam you once, don't let them scam you twice.